欢迎继续收看佛学英文这一堂课。Welcome to the basic Buddhist English. Let's repeat a few sentences and then we will analyze these few sentences about what is its content. Repeat after me. For example, one day our reflections might be dangers of hatred and resentment. First, it makes me fearful. Second, creates restlessness and agitation. Third, makes me feel miserable. Fourth, makes me critical and hard on myself. Advantages of loving kindness. First, makes my mind clear. Second, frees my body of tension. Third, makes me feel good about myself. Fourth, makes it easier to be with others. For example, one day our reflections might be dangers of hatred and resentment. First, makes me fearful. Second, creates restlessness and agitation. Third, makes me feel miserable. Fourth, makes me critical and hard on myself. Advantages of loving kindness. First, makes my mind clear. Second, frees my body of tension. Third, makes me feel good about myself. Fourth, makes it easier to be with others. As we understand that there are two kinds of meditation in Buddhism. The first kind of meditation we should practice is the so-called insight meditation. And the second meditation is called loving kindness meditation. In regard to the first kind of meditation, the insight meditation or the vipassana meditation, as it is called in Sanskrit or Pali, we call it vipassana meditation. Before we practice vipassana or insight meditation, we must practice the tranquility or calmness meditation or samadhi meditation, as it is said in Pali and Sanskrit. We practice samadhi meditation in order to calm down our mind, in order to concentrate our wandering mind on a certain point, to make our mind one-pointed. One-pointed. One-pointed means that our mind focuses on a certain object, focuses on a certain point, and our mind will not wander away, will not scatter away over too many objects. If our mind can be concentrated, then we can analyze or observe the objects within ourselves and outside ourselves in order to understand the truth of our life and the truth of the universe. What is the truth of our life? What is the truth of the universe? The truth of our life is truth of impermanence, truth of suffering, and the truth of no self. If we observe ourselves, then we understand that the so-called I can be divided into two parts. The first part of the so-called I is the part of physical body. And the second part of the so-called I is the part of mind. The so-called physical body, we call it form or rupa in Pali. Rupa means the material things or the physical body. If we observe and analyze further, then we can discover that actually our physical body is composed of so many parts. In ancient Buddhism, we call it 32 parts of our physical body. For example, our physical body is composed of our hair, of our nose, of our eyes, of our ears, of our mouth, our teeth, tongue, or the skin, or the blood, or the bones, or the hands, or the head, or the abdomen, or legs, and so on. There are different parts in our physical body. And we cannot say that which part is the I, or which part belongs to me. And we cannot say that which part is the real I. And every part is changing all the time. After practicing Vipassana meditation, then we can easily discover the truth of impermanence. Impermanence, in Pali, it is called anicca. But because of anicca, it is imperfection, it is suffering, it is dukkha in Pali. Because everything is changing all the time, and everything cannot stay or remain forever. It is imperfection. And because of the impermanence, the good thing will change to bad, and the bad thing may change to good. If we attach to it, if we cling to the impermanent things, then we will suffer, because we try to grasp, try to hold on the thing we like, and yet the thing we like will change. Therefore, it will create in our mind. It is the second truth of dukkha. or the second truth of suffering. If we go further, then we understand that there is no self at all, anatta, as it is said in Pali. Everything is anatta, means that everything has no nature of self. We cannot call it self. We cannot locate where is I, where is the ego, where is the self, where is the permanent or unchanged self. No self at all. No three truths will appear very clearly to us. And therefore, we can have the wisdom of life. If we realize the truth of impermanence or dukkha, the truth of impermanence or anicca, the truth of suffering or dukkha, the truth of no self or anatta, then we will free, independent from everything in the world. We will not crave for anything we like, and we will not avoid anything we dislike. We will remain stable, steady as ourselves. And no change, no circumstance will affect us, will make us feel happy or unhappy. This is the first kind of meditation we should practice all the time. We should practice all the time the truth of anicca, the truth of dukkha, the truth of anatta, in order to realize the true facts of human life, in order to be independent from the circumstance. Besides this first kind of insight meditation, the Buddha also taught us to practice loving kindness meditation. The practice of insight meditation can develop our wisdom and makes us feel independent from everything. We will become a free person. But according to the Buddha Dharma, it is not enough for oneself to be happy, for oneself to be independent, for oneself to be enlightened. If other people are not enlightened, if other people are not happy, how can we retain our happiness or our peace all the time? It is totally impossible to be a good person among a group of bad persons. Therefore, we have to practice the loving kindness meditation in order to make other people feel happy the same as us. Therefore, we can live in a peaceful and harmonious society. And we can have very friendly relatives or friends or staff. And our life will become happy. The loving kindness meditation is so important to make ourselves feel happy. However, what is the method to develop love and kindness? The author suggests that every morning or every day we must make a few reflections in order to help our mind concentrate, in order to make our mind easy and peaceful. Following are a few advices given to all of you. For example, one day our reflections might be, one day means maybe on a certain day you make these few reflections, and on the other day you may make another reflections. So you can make your mind fresh, and you can fully develop your mind. How to make these reflections? It is very important at the very beginning that we must understand the dangers of hatred and resentment. Of course, on the other day, you may make reflections on the dangers of craving, the dangers of desire, the danger of jealousy, the dangers of suspicion, or the dangers of depression, frustration, and so on. Here are only a few examples of the dangers of hatred and resentment. The ordinary people always have hatred and resentment towards the objects, the things, or the persons they don't like. They are tempted to express hatred and resentment towards the surrounding people, the surrounding things, and even themselves. Although they understand the hatred, the resentment will hurt them or harm them, but they cannot control their mind because their mind is still impure, because their mind is still scattering away, is still wandering away, is still in confusion. That's why everybody of us must practice meditation to calm down our mind and purify our mind. If we don't like hatred and resentment, we must understand very clearly at the very beginning why we should not have hatred and resentment. The dangers of hatred and resentment are manifold. In other words, hatred and resentment have many dangers. What is hatred and resentment? Hatred and resentment is created against the persons, the objects, the things, under the circumstance we dislike, then our emotion will be created against the things we don't like, the person we dislike. Then we hate them, we resent them. The things we don't like, then we will create hatred and resentment. The circumstance we don't like, then we will create hatred and resentment. It is a kind of emotion. And because our emotion cannot be kept balanced, our bad emotion will hurt us, will harm us, will endanger us. Therefore, we have to reflect on the dangers of hatred and resentment. Hatred is the long form of hate. For example, I hate the liar. The liar means the person who tells a lie. The person who tells a lie is always making other people believe what he says in order to make some profit from the lie. I hate a liar. I hate the person who tells a lie. I hate the too cold weather or the too hot weather. I hate the dishonest people. I hate the disloyal people. That means if somebody is disloyal to me, then I will arouse a kind of bad emotion. Because I don't want other people to treat me badly. I want other people to be honest to me. This is a kind of bad emotion. If we have bad emotion of hatred and resentment, then we may have following dangers. As a practitioner, we must reflect on the dangers of hatred and resentment from time to time in order to remain calm, tranquil, and peaceful, in order to remain equanimous. That means we are not so discriminative. The first danger we may have is hatred will make me fearful. Hatred and resentment will make me fearful. Make something happen or make somebody fear something. The danger of hatred and resentment may make me fearful. Fearful means that we don't feel secure in our mind. We are afraid of something or somebody. The hatred makes me fearful. Because if I develop the emotion of hatred, then I may fear that the persons will revenge against me, will fight back, will argue with me, or will compete with me. The danger of hatred and resentment makes me fearful. We will have the reaction of fear. If we have the hatred or resentment in our mind, then we will be always in the state of fear. We fear that somebody will not be good to us, that somebody will treat us badly, that somebody will speak bad of us. This is the first danger of hatred and resentment. The second danger of hatred and resentment is resentment and hatred creates restlessness and agitation. Creates means produces. To create something or to produce something. Restlessness and agitation. Create means to produce something out of so many factors, according to the theory of dependent origination. One thing must be created out of so many different factors. We'll create something. We'll create a reaction in our mind. What is the reaction of hatred and resentment? That is restlessness and agitation. Restlessness is the opposite of rest. Rest means easy, means peaceful, means no worry, no fear at all. Restlessness. If I fear rest, means my mind is peaceful, means my mind is calm, means my mind is not in the state of agitation. That is rest. We may take rest under the tree. We may take rest in the room. If we are tired, then we must take rest in order to recover our strength, in order to recover our health. We must take rest. If we feel tired or uneasy, we must take rest. The opposite of rest is restless. I feel rest because my mind is peaceful. I feel restless because my mind is not peaceful. Because my mind is in a state of confusion. Because my mind is in a state of hatred and resentment, then my mind cannot remain restlessness means not peacefulness. Agitation means stirring, means confusion, stirring or confusion. Something is coming out all the time. That is agitation. I feel agitated because of the loud noise. The loud noise makes me agitated because my mind is affected by the noise. The noise will disturb our peaceful mind, will make us feel agitated. Agitated means stir or confused. The second danger of hatred and resentment is hatred and resentment will create restlessness and agitation. Of course, we want peaceful. We want rest. We want harmonious. If it is the case, then we should not create hatred and resentment in our mind. We must remain peaceful and try not to be affected by outside influence. Hatred and resentment will harm us. If we want rest and peaceful, we should not have hatred and resentment. Then we have the third danger of hatred and resentment. That is, hatred and resentment makes me feel miserable. Miserable means very poor, very bad situation, very terrible situation, very sorrowful situation. Miserable. Miserable means so unhappy. Danger of hatred and resentment is I will be made miserable. If I have hatred and resentment in my mind, then my mind will feel miserable. My mind will feel miserable. You see? Because at that time, my mind is not peaceful at all. And my mind will fall into the trap of misery. How poor I am, just because I have hatred and resentment. My mind is always in the state of tension. It's always in the state of hating other people, or hating the surrounding circumstance, or hating the things. We find that there are so many enemies in our life around us. we will feel terrible. This is the feeling of misery. Then we go to the next danger of hatred and resentment. It creates criticism and hardness of myself. In other words, hatred makes me critical and hard on myself. Makes me critical and hard on myself means I am not kind to myself. I don't treat myself nicely. I try to criticize myself. If I make a minor mistake, then I will feel very badly. Because I may tell myself, how come? How can it be? How can I make the mistake? I always criticize myself. Makes me critical. If I become critical on myself, on others, on the society, on the circumstance, then I will always try to find the faults of myself, the shortcomings of the society, or the disadvantage, or the defects of the circumstance. Makes me feel critical. Makes me critical means that my mind will always in the state of finding fault with myself and others. Makes me critical and hard on myself. Make me hard on myself means I cannot show loving kindness towards myself. I cannot show love towards me. I cannot treat me nicely. Makes me hard on myself. I'm in a state of tension. I am in a state of finding fault with myself. This is the fourth danger of hatred and resentment. If we can reflect on the dangers of hatred and resentment, then we will realize that hatred and resentment is harmful to ourselves before we harm other people. Because if we want to hate and resent other people, we must create or develop the emotion of hatred and resentment within ourselves. And if hatred and resentment is created against ourselves, then it will harm us. There are so many dangers of hatred and resentment. We must be very careful not to create the feeling or the emotion of hatred and resentment. We will harm ourselves first before we can harm other people. If we can have this kind of reflection and realize that actually hatred and resentment will do no good towards ourselves, we will then try to avoid the emotion of hatred and resentment. Besides reflecting on the dangers of hatred and resentment, we must reflect advantages of loving kindness. Advantages are the opposite of dangers. And loving kindness is the opposite of hatred and resentment. If there is danger, then there will be no advantage. If we want to have the advantage, we must not create danger. Advantage is the antidote of danger. Danger will harm us, will hurt us, but advantage will help us. Hatred and resentment is a bad emotion, and loving kindness is the opposite, or we say the antidote of hatred and resentment. Loving kindness cannot exist together with hatred and resentment. If there is loving kindness, then there will not be hatred and resentment. On the other hand, if there are hatred and resentment, there will be no loving kindness. After reflecting on the dangers of hatred and resentment, we understand that hatred and resentment will do no good towards us. Then we should reflect on the advantages of loving kindness. We must try to understand what are the advantages of loving kindness. In other words, if we develop loving kindness, it will help us a lot. It will improve us a lot. Let's see what are the advantages of loving kindness. Loving kindness makes my mind clear. Loving kindness makes my mind clear. Because loving kindness has no enemy. No enemy at all. If we hate and resent other people, means we treat other people as our enemy. And then our mind will become miserable. But loving kindness means the great love. the boundless love, the unconditional love, will make me peaceful. I have no disturbance in my mind. I have no enemy at all. And I'm quite sure that other people will be friendly toward me. Other people will be kind to me. I will be clear of thoughts, tension, frustration, or uneasiness. Loving kindness makes my mind clear, because my mind will become clear out of loving kindness, out of peace. My mind is peaceful. Then I can create loving kindness. And my mind will become clear. Become clear means no confusion at all. If we have loving kindness, then we love everybody, we love everything, we love every object, we love every society, everything, every object, every circumstance, every person. Then our mind will become clear, because we don't need to try how to make use of other people or how to hate other people or to get something from other people. Makes my mind clear. A clear mind is important to a wisdom mind, or to the realization of the ultimate truth. If our mind is not clear, then our mind is confused about everything. Then how can we see the truth of our life and the truth of the universe? This is the first advantage of loving kindness. The second advantage of loving kindness is my body of tension will disappear. That means loving kindness frees my body of tension. If we develop the emotion of hatred and resentment, we will be full of tension because we dislike this or dislike that. However, to repress hatred and resentment with loving kindness, my body will be free from tension. We will not have tension at all in our mind. Tension will make us nervous. Tension will make us lose our temper. Tension will make us feel depressed and frustrated. That is tension. Are you in a state of tension? If you are always in a state of tension, then some severe sickness will appear in your body. According to the statistics of medical doctors, a majority of the cancer sick person are in a state of tension for a long time. And those people find no way to free their tension, find no ways to release their tension or to put down their tension. Therefore, they are always in the state of depression. They are always in the state of tension, the very bad mood of tension will make us nervous and crazy. Tension is so harmful to our health, is so harmful to our mind. But loving kindness makes my body free from tension. This means loving kindness frees my body of tension. Freeing my body of tension means loving kindness will dissolve tension in our body. If our body has tension, we will feel nervous. We will in a state of hypertension. We will in a state of nervousness, and our mind will become restless. We will not be happy. We will not be peaceful. The third advantage of loving kindness is it makes me feel good about myself. Makes me feel good about myself means I will treat myself nicely because I have love. I have loving kindness. Before we show loving kindness towards other people, we must shower loving kindness upon ourselves. And this kind of meditation or the visualization will make me feel good about myself. I will feel restless. I will feel peaceful. I will feel good about myself, either physically or mentally. I will feel good about myself. And we may reflect on the other advantage of loving kindness. That is, loving kindness makes it easier to be with other people, because everybody needs love. Everybody needs loving kindness. Nobody lacks hatred and resentment. Everybody lacks love. Loving kindness makes it easier to be with other people. Other people will get along easily with a person of loving kindness. This is a very important reflection on the advantage of loving kindness and the reflection on the dangers of hatred and resentment. Thank you for joining us. and